Hello there, welcome to or welcome back to Dave's Techway, whichever way the situation may be. Like the title suggests, in today's video we have an unboxing and overview for you. We're going to be looking at the Vetroo V5 air cooler for your CPU. We're going to be taking it out of the box, running down through the specs as we do so, and see if it may be ready for that next gaming computer build that you're putting together. There will be a link in the description below if you'd like to go check it out. And on your way down to the description box, don't forget to do all that fun YouTube stuff. Let's flip you over, we'll take this thing out of the box and see if it'll be ready for your next gaming computer build. Alright, here we go. This is sitting here on the desk inside the box. This does come in white and black. That way it fits your build if you're doing an all white build. In today's example I have the black one here, as you can see. So let's go ahead and take this thing out of the box and see what it has to offer you. We'll be going down through the specs as we pull the ports out of the container here. Get the box opened up here. Get it opened up this way. Slide that back there a little bit. And you got some black style foam here on top. A little bit of padding to help protect it, I guess. So how we do this? There's your baggie of goodies. That's all your connectors that you need to connect it to the motherboard. We'll be going through that here in a little bit. Anything else down in there? There's your instructions for it. You may want to hold on to this depending on what socket you're using. That way you know exactly what components you need to be using. Suppose there ain't no kind of warranty cord or anything in it. Okay, pulling it up out here. Looks like we got the fan. Alright. We got the fan pulled up here. Looking at the back of it here, we can tell that it is made by the same company that makes the heat sink, of course. That is the Vetroo, manufacturer of the fan. As far as the fan goes, it is 120 millimeter. It is a RGB fan. You should have a RGB connector over here, right there, which is the 3-pin 5-volt. Looks like you can daisy chain off of it if you need to. We do have the 4-pin fan header there for your CPU header on your motherboard. Like I said, it is ARGB. As far as the RPMs, it goes from 800 up to 1700 RPMs on the fan. The noise level of the fan is 30 to 35 dBA, so it should be a pretty quiet fan. By looking at the fan blades and the way they're built, looks like it's more for air optimization than it is to go through the heat sink. But you know, whenever we do the other video on the install and the testing of it, we'll see how good that thing actually does. You do have some rubber paddings here on the corners for vibration. That way the vibration don't go through and make a bunch of noise while it's against the heat sink. Looks like a pretty typical cheaper fan. It has a black plastic housing. I don't know if they meant to do that or not, but it looks like it's got arrows here on all 4 sides of it to show you which way the airflow goes. I don't know if they meant to do that or if they didn't mean to do that, but it seems to be a pretty nice little fan. Okay, then we got the heat sink itself, along with a little bit more packaging. Anything else there? There's some packaging. Looks like there's some foam down here in the bottom of the box. Okay, that's pretty well it. That's about all that comes in the box. Now I guess here we are with the heat sink. It is painted all black. I guess that's a paint. It does have 5 heat pipe design to it. I don't know if you can actually see down through the pins or not, but it seems like there's quite a bit of room in between each pin so they can actually move air through it. Seems to be pretty thick as well. That's pretty nice. Talking about the pins on it and the pin density, it looks like you can move a lot of air. I don't know if you can see that on film or not, but down here on the sides of them, they actually got spacers in there to kind of keep the pins apart, which is pretty nice. It kind of, you know, stops them from being able to squeeze in on each other. Looks like they got them on both sides to help hold them apart. Most of it is aluminum, but it does have the, I'll pull this back a little bit here so we can see it. But the heat pipes, it is copper heat pipes with a aluminum base plate there. Something that you need to keep in mind if you're planning on buying one of these. It is 148 millimeter height. That's from the bottom of the cold plate up to the top here, the top of the pipe, so the tubing in it. Seems to be made pretty well, pretty stable, pretty sturdy. Ain't no flex or nothing to it. So I think it's a pretty good little heat sink. And as you can tell when we went over when I was looking at the heat sink, there is no thermal paste installed. You have to install your own thermal paste, but they do give you a little bit of thermal paste here to be able to install your cooler with. Alright, and here's your brackets to hold your fans on. They only give you one fan, but it looks like they give you two sets of the brackets to actually be able to put another fan on if you want. So you can use the fan that they have, plus you can add an extra one if you want. That way you can do a push-pull configuration on it. That's pretty good. Alright, right here on the back it says Intel. This must be the bracket you connect to the bottom of the cooler. If you're going to be using an Intel system, these are the brackets you use for the Intel system. I'm going to say they're going to attach to the side of the cooler with these four little screws here. These four little screws you'll use for Intel or AMD. That's going to put the brackets onto the bottom of the cooler. That's going to attach to the back plate of the motherboard. And here's your back plate that you need if you're going to be doing it on an Intel build, because Intel motherboards don't come with a back plate. So you'll have to install this on the back, or hold this on the back of your motherboard while you put the screws down through it and then brackets. So that is the back plate for the Intel system. This little baggie right here says AMD on it. So these will be the brackets that mount to the bottom of the air cooler if you're using an AMD system. But you can tell they are shaped a little bit different than what the Intel does. What the Intel is, the Intel is shaped more like a little U's, well these are more straight. And again, to mount them to the bottom of the cooler, you'll be using the same four little screws that you would if you had an Intel build. As far as the sockets that this thing will fit on, if you use the back plate here and the Intel brackets, you are looking at the Intel LGA 1200, 1366, 1156, 1155, 1151, 1150, and the 775. You use the AMD with the included back plate. You do have AM4 support, AM3 Plus support, AM2 Plus support, AM2, FM2, and FM. And they actually have a note here that says the inner back plate and this package does not fit AMD. If you want to install an AMD motherboard, please use the original back plate of your motherboard. So this back plate, like I mentioned, this back plate is only good if you're going to be installing on an Intel system. If you use the AMD system, you use the back plate that comes with it, that comes with the motherboard. I think that pretty well wraps it up for the unboxing part of it, guys. Let me get reset up here and I will come up with a conclusion to the video for you. Alright guys, so that's kind of taking it out of the box, kind of going down through the specs. There was some misinformation whenever I was taking it out of the box. I like to go over with you. I think it's pretty important. I think a lot of people would be interested in the information on this cooler. Let's flip you over and we'll go through what I found after taking it out of the box. Alright, here we are on Amazon product page for this thing. And the heat sink itself is made with a 0.4mm thick aluminum fins. And the heat pipes on this is a 6mm. It's supposed to be solid copper heat pipes, not the hollow ones, which is nice. The TDP of it is up to 150 watts of heat that it would get rid of. As far as the fan specs that I missed, it does have a static pressure of 3.61 mm H2O, and it is a hydraulic bearing. So that's some of the information that I dug up on this cooler after I took it out of the box. I figured some of you may be interested in that. I was actually looking to see what it was coated with or what kind of paint they used on it, but I couldn't find that information, so I'm not sure if it's actually painted or if it's some kind of oxidation dipping process they used on this cooler. But it does seem to be pretty thick. It does seem to be on there pretty good. If you can think of any other kind of air coolers that's in this price range, somewhere between say $25 and $40 you'd like for me to take a look at, I would like to do a roundup of the more budget entry-level coolers. Put them in the comments section below, something that comes in around this price point you think this thing would be competitive with. Don't forget to go down there and also do the rest of the fun YouTube stuff. You all have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video or live stream.